Okay, now the thing that we need to realize about risk-free bets, first of all, is that the value of a risk-free bet does depend on the way in which the bet gets reimbursed, whether it's in cash, free bets, or bonus money. It also depends on the odds at which the risk-free bet is placed. But more importantly than any of that is risk-free bets in general are not actually risk-free. If we're getting paid back in free bets, we know that the value of free bets is not the same as the cash value. And so we're putting up $100 to get back $100 in free bets, potentially, if we lose the risk-free bet. We are taking risks there. And we can see here, what is the difference? What is that risk depending on how we get paid back? If we actually get paid back in cash, if we put up $100 and we get back $100 when we lose, then it is risk-free. If we get bonus money back, it's not 100% risk-free, but it's pretty good. Bonus money is pretty valuable. So it's not too bad. It's not technically risk-free, but that's okay. If we're getting free bets back, then it certainly is risky. And it's something that's really important to think about if, for example, in a lot of the cases where books are offering this as a first bet promotion to try to get people to sign up accounts, they're offering $5,000 free bets, $5,000 risk-free bet. That's $5,000 in cash, which if we turn that into free bets, depending on how we're going to place those free bets, might only be worth $2,500 or $3,000. So we are risking a couple $1,000s, which can be a substantial amount of money if we don't have a very large bankroll. Okay. Even if we do have a very large bankroll, it is still a significant amount of money, and so we want to make sure that we approach these opportunities as soundly as possible to squeeze as much value out of them as we possibly can. And the thing that's interesting about risk-free bets is that actually we can squeeze all of the risk out of a risk-free bet just by hedging out the bet at another sports book. So bear with me here. We're going to go through a way to actually hedge out a risk-free bet in a way that it actually flips the risk-free bet around. So we're actually going to win when the risk-free bet loses. And if the risk-free bet wins, we actually break even. That's the idea. But by doing that, the only thing that's going to happen is we're either going to break even, we're going to end up with no change in our bankroll, or we're going to get risk-free bets for free. Okay, so either way, we end up with the exact same amount of cash at the end, and we're either going to end up with no free bets or we're going to end up with some amount of free bets. Okay, and that's how we get the risk out. And we preserve all of the EV, at least in theory, or we pay a little bit of VIG in the process, but we get rid of so much risk that it's probably worth it, or it may be worth it, certainly depending on what your bankroll considerations are. Okay, so what do we have? So we have a $100 risk-free bet at plus 500. Let's assume no VIG for the sake of argument. And it's going to be reimbursed in free bets if it loses. So first what we're going to do, we're going to bet the $100. We're going to place the $100 risk-free bet at plus 500. We're also going to assume that if we were to lose that bet, we're going to place the $100 worth of free bets also at plus 500. Just so we know what the EV of that is. The EV is $83.33. So in this case, we're risking the possibility that we lose the bet, which is a $100 loss, and we get something worth $83.33 in return. So we're effectively risking the difference, $16.67, in order to win $500. Okay, so the expected value of that overall proposition at plus 500, assuming no VIG, assuming the implied odds are the implied probabilities are the true probabilities, the expected value of this whole thing is $61.63. Okay. But what we can actually do is, in addition to placing the $100 risk-free bet at plus 500, we go to another book and we bet the other side of the bet minus 500, because we're assuming no VIG. And we do it in a way so that we will break even if the risk-free bet wins. So at minus 500, that means we're going to bet $500 at minus 500 so that we win $100 if the risk-free bet loses. And if the risk-free bet loses, we will have lost the $100 and the risk-free bet, so we'd be even. So let's walk through how this works. So This is the free bet. The amount is $100 at odds of plus 500. The hedge is that we're going to bet $500 on the opposite side at minus 500. Okay, so there's two scenarios. We either win the risk-free bet or we lose the risk-free bet. If we win the risk-free bet, then we win $500 on the risk-free bet. We lose the $500 on the hedge. We walk away with nothing. If we lose the risk-free bet, then we lose the $100 on the risk-free bet and we get $100 in free bets in return. But we win $100 on the hedge, so the $100 in cash that we lost gets hedged out. We're even in terms of cash, but we have $100 in free bets that we walk away with. So actually here, what we walk away with is $100 worth of free bets, which we assumed were worth $83.33, and we got that at no risk. Whereas before, if we didn't hedge it out, we actually walk away with something that has an EV at the beginning of $61.63. So we actually increase our EV and we get rid of the risk. It's a win-win situation, definitely something that we want to take advantage of if we have the opportunity to do so.